Okay, can you now see my screen? Morphology week 2, session 1.
Yes.
Okay. What we are going to cover in this session
Yes.
is, okay. What we are going to cover in this session is to define again, to go over what is morphology and to provide a definition for a word and to go over the word morpheme to know what does it mean and how can we identify a morpheme by using some criteria. And then we will finish off by knowing how to identify the numbers of morphemes in words. And finally, we're going to go over the differences between two main types of morphemes, free morpheme versus bound morphemes. I guess so far in our previous week, we discussed these points. We said, what is linguistics? And we said, linguistics is a scientific study of language. As we said, language is a system, not only a system, but it is a highly organized system. So when we try to analyze this system, we need to know how to examine this system. So we need a scientific way, we need a more organized way that will help us to do this. So we said in linguistics, we have different branches. We have different branches, meaning that when we study sounds, it's totally different from when we study words, when we study sentences, when we study phrases, and so on and so forth. And also we have two main branches of linguistics when we study meaning. We have literal meaning, which would be semantics, and we have meaning in use or pragmatic meaning, the meaning that people usually intend when they communicate with one another. So this is different branches of linguistics. Of course, we have other branches, but these are the main ones. And also we went over the reason behind studying morphology. Why do we have this course? What is the significance of studying morphology for a student of linguistics and translation? And in this session, we are going to go over the criteria for a morpheme and the types of morphemes, the different ways of dividing morphemes, and the types of free morphemes. One of the main parts that we handled in our previous session was the word morphology. And we said morphology consists of two main parts, morph and then ology. And we said when it comes to the word morph or the part morph, it means shape or form or building or construction. And then we have the O, which is a linking vowel. And then we have logy or logia, which is the science of or the study of. I'm just admitting all the other people who are waiting. So again, as I said, we have morph and ology, and we said it is a study of words or the study of the internal structure of words. In fact, of morphology, the main focus is a word. So a very simple definition of a word is that it is a group of sounds, a group of vocal sounds, ka, ah, ta, or any groups of sounds, or just one sound, which are used in any language to express an idea. For example, to refer to a thing, like a table or a chair, or a tribute like happiness or honesty, or a relationship, friendship, and so on, or and constituting an ultimate minimum element of speech having a meaning as such. So we could say that a word, it's a groups of sounds or just one group of sounds with a meaning. For example, we have C, A, T. Individually, we have the sounds which is pronounced in this word as ka. So we have the word cat. So the sound alone here must be grouped with other sounds to get a word. So a very simple definition again, a group of sounds that has a meaning is a word. Maybe a word could have just one sound, like for example the pronoun I, it's just one sound, or the verb are, which is usually we have the silent sound, so we have the ah, so it's just only one sound. So it could be a group of sounds or just one sound, and they are used to express one idea or a certain meaning. But in morphology, we are not going to start our examination of this of the language by studying the word, but we need a unit, a smaller unit that could help us to study words. This unit would be morpheme or a morpheme. And you could think of a morpheme as just a part of the word. So we could say that a word could have one, two, three, or more morphemes, not the other way around. So the word is a bigger unit, while a morpheme is a smaller unit. So we could think of the differences between them as a word is the mother of a morpheme, while a morpheme is the daughter of a word, and so on and so forth. But we need to know what is a morpheme, a definition for a morpheme. A very simple definition of a morpheme is this one. A morpheme is a minimal unit of meaning or a grammatical function in a word. What does this mean? Can anyone help me? What does this definition mean? Yes, guys, can anyone help me? What do you mean by this definition? What did you get from this definition?
ان اسمه ايه ده،
اسمه
ان
ايه؟
المورفيم يكون
Yeah.
اصغر يونت مفهومه في الكلمه، يعني اصغر.
This is a translation, Osama. I need.
ايه
This is a translation, right?
you need another definition in English.
Please.
Okay. The phoneme is the smallest meaningful part in a word.
Okay. So thank you so much, Osama. So a morpheme is a minimal unit. This is the smallest unit, meaning that this unit of the word could have a meaning or could just do a grammatical function. What do you mean by grammatical function? For example, if we add an S to cat, it becomes cats. So in this case, the word the cat refers to an animal, right? While the S refers to a grammatical function of plural. So we don't have only one cat, we have more than one cat. Could be two cats, three cats, four cats, and so on. So a morpheme is a minimal unit of meaning or a grammatical function. It could refer to plural, it could refer to past tense, for example, the ed or ing, present progressive or past progressive or future progressive. So it is a minimal unit of meaning or a grammatical function in a word. In our handouts, we have this definition. A morpheme is a short segment of language. But how can we identify a morpheme? How can we know this is a morpheme and this is not a morpheme? According to Stageberg, the author of this handout, he says that we have three conditions, we have three criteria, we have three ways to help us to know that this is a morpheme while this is not. Number one, a morpheme, it refers back to a morpheme. A morpheme is a word, it could be a word or a part of a word that has a meaning. So condition number one, rule number one, way number one, we must have a meaning. It could be the whole word, as in cat, or it could be a part of the word, like cats. Or the example Isra said earlier, streets. We have street and then we have S. So it could be a word or it could be a part of a word. The second condition, this part of the word or this word cannot be divided into smaller meaningful parts. And if we divide it, this will violate, this will change the meaning, or we are left with meaningless remainders. For example, as we said, a morpheme is a short segment. This is the smallest segment. This is the minimal segment. So we cannot divide this unit any longer because this is the smallest one. This is the smallest unit. We cannot have the micro smallest, for example, because this is the smallest part. And finally, the third condition, it, which is the morpheme, it recurs, it happens, it occurs in different or differing verbal environment with a relatively stable meaning. This part of the word, this morpheme, this smallest unit, has the same meaning in different English words. Okay? So how many conditions so far? How many conditions, guys?
Three.
Three.
So in order to know this is a morpheme or not, you must keep in mind these three conditions. Okay, let me try to put it in a simple way. Could you please read this for me? This one written in red. This abbreviation, MD.
MDV.
Okay, what do you mean by MDV? MDV are the three conditions. M, a morpheme must have a meaning. This is the M. D, can you guess? What is the D condition?
Divided.
It cannot be divided into a smaller unit. And the V, it has the same meaning in different verbal context. So the MDV, the three conditions again. M, this morpheme or this part of the word must have a meaning. D, it cannot be divided into a smaller unit because this is the smallest part. And V, it has the same meaning in different verbal context. Is it clearer now?
Yes, doctor. Can I ask you a question? Can I give you a word?
Okay, I'm just gonna give you an example. Just write down your question and I'm gonna tackle it. Just in 2 minutes. Okay?
Okay.
So again, MDV. A morpheme criteria, a word or a part of the word that has a meaning. This is the M. And the D, it cannot be divided. And the V, it has the same meaning, stable meaning in different verbal environment. Let's have an example. The word play, how many morphemes does it have?
One.
One morpheme.
Why?
We can divide it into small, meaningful
Okay.
units.
Let's have the three conditions again. Does it have a meaning?
Of course.
Yes, to play, it's an action, right? And D, can we divide it into a smaller unit without it changing the meaning? Can we take, for
No.
example, the A without it changing the meaning?
No.
No. Can we take out the P without it changing the meaning?
No.
No.
Okay. So the A, does it have the same meaning in different verbal contexts? Give me other words that have the word play in English. Have playing, for example. What else?
Playground.
Playground. Okay. What else?
Players.
Players. Well done. Okay. Let's underline the word play in all of them or highlight it. Does it have the same meaning in all of them? Play, yes, is to play in a continuous way. Playground, this is the place where we play. And the player, this is the person who play, right?
Yes.
So it has the same meaning in different verbal contexts. This is the first verbal context, and this is another verbal context, a third verbal context, right? So does it agree with the MDV conditions? What do you think?
Yes.
So it is a morpheme, yes. A is a morpheme. Let's go to another example. The word talk, how many morphemes does it have and why?
1.
Why?
It cannot
has a
be
meaning.
divided.
Okay, it
Cannot
has a
be
meaning.
divided.
Number one, MDV again. It has a meaning.
Yes. It cannot be divided.
Cannot be dividing without it changing the meaning, right?
Yes.
And three,
It has the same meaning in different contexts.
verbal context. Excellent. Okay, let's move on to the second one. Talks.
2 morphemes.
2 morphemes. Excellent. Where is the first one?
Talk.
Okay, as we have just analyzed, talk, it has a meaning, cannot be divided, same meaning, different verbal contexts, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's move on to the second one, S.
S.
Is it a morpheme in English?
Plural.
Yes.
Yes,
Has a
it has a meaning, plural. Cannot be
Yes.
divided, no. Has the
Yes.
same meaning. If we add it to any English word, we're gonna have the plural for, yes. Let's move on to the next one. How many morphemes?
2.
Two
Two.
morphemes.
Where is the first one?
Talk.
Talk.
Talk again, as we have just analyzed it. And the ing is a continuous one, right? So it refers to
Yes.
continuity and it cannot be divided, has the same meaning. If we add ing to any English verb, it has the same meaning, right? So 2 morphemes. Let's move on to the next one. How many morphemes?
Two.
The first one,
Talk.
Talk.
as we have just said, again, talk. The second one is ed,
ED.
the past tense morpheme.
Past
So,
perfect.
okay, past tense or perfect. Past simple or past perfect. The last one, how many morphemes?
Two morphemes.
Two.
The first one,
Talk.
Talk.
okay. The second one,
ER.
ER.
well done. Okay. Let's have another example. Straight. How many morphemes does it have?
1.
1 or 2? What do you think? This is again tricky.
One.
1. And why?
Cannot be divided into a meaningful word.
Okay.
We
First,
can,
it has a meaning, right?
of course.
Okay.
Straight.
So it's a word, it has a meaning. And we cannot take away any sound of it without it changing its meaning. Cannot be divided, of course. And it has the same meaning in different verbal context. Do we have other verbal context in English? Yes. Straight
Return.
forward. A straight line. It has the same meaning, to go along without changing your direction, right? So straight forward or straight line, and so on and so forth. So it has one morpheme because it meets the 3 criteria, which are the MDV. Has a meaning, cannot be divided, and most importantly, has the same meaning in different verbal contexts. Let's move on to another or a third example. This one, Brighton.
دي two morphemes.
It has 2 morphemes.
Two morphemes.
Okay, where is the first one?
Bright.
Bright.
EN.
Okay, the first one is bright. It's an adjective, right?
Yes.
Okay, so MDV again, does it have a meaning? Yes.
Yes. It
To
cannot
be
be
shining,
divided.
right? Can we divide it into a smaller unit?
No,
No,
cannot.
it has the same meaning in different verbal context.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, the second one?
EN.
EN.
N. The second one is EN. Does it have a meaning?
To make.
To excellent, well done. To make. It has a meaning. Can we divide it into a smaller unit?
No,
No.
we cannot.
Other English words that have the EN with the same meaning? Yes.
Enrich.
Really?
Oh.
Shorten, to make it short, right?
Mm.
And widen. What does it mean?
darken.
Yes?
So,
وكمان darken يا دكتور.
And what, Osama, please?
darken.
Okay, darken.
Feel item.
Then we have worsen, to make it worse. See? Enlighten. Okay. Well done. So again, brighten, it has 2 meanings. The first one is bright, MDV again. And the second one is ENMDV. It has a meaning, cannot be divided. Same meaning in different verbal context, meaning with other English words. Okay. Let's have our practice in the handouts. This is the first practice. So I guess you have tried answered this, have you?
Yes.
Okay. So the question in instruction here is, after each word, write a number showing how many morphemes it contains. So let's go on to the first one, play.
one morpheme.
One.
1 or 2 morphemes. What do you think?
One morpheme.
1 morpheme. Okay. Is it 1?
ليه لأ؟
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So let's move on to the second one. Replay.
Two morphemes.
Two morphemes.
Okay, what is the first one?
Re.
Re. We play.
Okay, does it have a meaning?
Yes.
To repeat something.
Okay, it's to do it again, right? To repeat. Do we have other English words that have the re part?
Renew.
Regain. Retain.
Renew,
Regain.
excellent. Re,
Return.
Recycle. Restart.
Restart. Well done. Replay. Rewrite.
Return.
Okay, well done. Excellent. So the first one, which is play, has only one morpheme, MDV again. The second one is replay. It has two morphemes, the re part and the play part. Let's move on to number 3, date. How many?
One
morpheme.
morpheme.
Excellent. Why it has only one morpheme?
Because it has a
Has the
meaning.
meaning cannot
Has
be
a
divided.
meaning,
Divided.
cannot be divided.
Cannot.
It has the same meaning in different contexts.
Well done. Excellent. Number 4,
Two morphemes.
Two morphemes.
okay, what is the first one?
Anti.
Okay, what does it mean, anti?
Against.
Think again.
The opposite.
Before.
Yes, it's before. If we have anti with an I, it would be against. Antibiotics, for example, anti-war with an I. But anti ending in E, it means before. So anti-date before its due date. For example, I'm gonna submit my assignment 2 days ahead of the deadline. This would be an anti-date submission. See? So ante means before the date. So here we have two morphemes. The first one is ante, the second one is date. Number 5, hygiene.
One morpheme.
Yes, it's only one morpheme. It's originally a Latin word, so it's only a one morpheme word. It cannot be divided, has a meaning. It has the meaning of personal cleanliness, to keep clean when it comes to your clothing, your eating, and your every daily activity. And then we have number 6, week.
One.
One.
morpheme.
Excellent. Why?
Because it has
Has
meaning.
meaning.
Cannot
It
be
has a meaning.
divided.
It is the opposite of strong. Yes.
Cannot be divided.
Cannot be divided. Has the same meaning
The
in
same meaning in different.
context. Number 7, and this is the last one.
Two morphemes.
Two morpheme.
The first one,
Weak.
Weak.
Weaken.
the second one,
En.
En.
en, not n, en, which is to make. Weaken, to make it or to make him weak. Okay? So from number 9 through 20 will be your first assignment. Okay, you will do it as an assignment and we will review it together in class. I'm not gonna submit it somewhere. Just we're gonna review it in class in our on-site session. Okay, so this is a morpheme and this is the criteria for identifying a morpheme. Do you have any questions so far? Osama, you said you have a question.
No, it's all clear now, Doctor. Thank you so much.
Okay, does anyone have any question?
دكتور
Yes.
human eyes كانت في assignment
Okay,
كquestion.
what do you think? How many morphemes does it have?
2
Yes, the first one would be,
human with eyes.
yes, we could say that until later information being delivered. Because we could say we have the word man and then we have heo and then we have eyes. But for the time being, let's say we have human and we have eyes.
هي كانت في assignment مكتوبة have a 2 criteria.
2 morphemes and different and the same criteria, I guess.
Yes.
Okay. So we have the word humanize, as your colleague is saying. We have 2 morphemes. The first one is human, which has a meaning, cannot be divided, same meaning in different verbal context. And then we have IZE, which is again another morpheme because we have tons of English words that have this IZE, like revolutionize, like modernize, which means to make or to do it in this way. Okay?
اوكي يا
دكتور
دكتور.
معلش سؤال.
Yes.
هو هيفرق لو الكلمة دي verb أو noun؟ يعني play مثلا تبقى يلعب أو مسرحية.
Yes. But when it comes to morphological analysis, we do not care much about the meaning.
يعني بنبص لروت الكلمة نفسها ولا إيه؟
Excellent, yes. Only the analysis of the word, just as the grammar. You know that the word grammar, when it comes to sentence, it has. But morphology, we could define morphology as the grammar of words, not the grammar of sentence.
أوكي يا دكتور شكرا.
Okay. So we have two different ways to divide morphemes. We have two ways of dividing morphemes. Number one, a group of people, a group of linguists say that we have free versus bound morpheme. So one way to divide morphemes is to divide them into free and bound. Another way, a different school of dividing morphemes is base versus affix. And we're gonna go into both of them. What is a free morpheme? What is a bound morpheme? What is a base and what is an affix? Let's go on to free versus bound morpheme. According to those linguists, morphemes are of two kinds, free and bound. A free morpheme is one that can be uttered alone, can stand alone, and it has a meaning. For example, if someone asks you this question, what you're gonna do now, and you said, or you say eat, without saying I'm gonna eat. So eat here is a free morpheme. Why? Because it can stand alone. This is a free morpheme. It can stand alone and it has a meaning. The one who is asking you the question will get an answer to eat. You're gonna do something. While a bound morpheme is totally opposite, unlike the free one, it cannot be uttered alone. That's why it is always annexed to, attached to, connected to one or more morphemes to form a word. For example, the morpheme anti or re or ly at the end of the word, or er at the end, or un at the beginning, all of them are bound morpheme. Why? Because they cannot stand alone. Let's go back to our exercise here. If we say the word play, is it a free or a bound morpheme and why?
Free. Free morpheme.
And why?
Can stand alone.
It can
With the
stand alone,
meaning.
not only this, with the meaning, right?
With the meaning.
Okay, let's move on to the second one, replay. How many morphemes?
Two.
Did it say?
Two.
We have two morphemes. The first one, which is re, can it stand alone?
Bound
It's
morpheme.
a
No.
bound.
A bound morpheme. Do you know what do you mean by bound? It must be bound. We need to bind it to another one. We need to connect it. We need to attach it to another one to form a meaning or to form a word or to stand with this part. It is too weak, too dependent to stand alone. It must be added. It must be annexed to. How about number 4? Where is the bound morpheme?
Anti.
Anti.
Excellent. In number 7, where is the bound morpheme?
En.
En. Well done. Where is the free morpheme in number 9?
ly.
Man.
The free one,
Man.
not the bound one.
Man?
Yes, excellent. Man. So, according to this definition, a free morpheme is one that can be uttered alone with meaning. while a bound morpheme cannot be uttered alone, must be added to form a word. Okay? One subcategorization of morphemes is that we have free morphemes versus bound morpheme. In free morphemes, we have lexical and functional morphemes. And in bound morpheme, we have derivational and inflectional morphemes. And this subcategorization will be handled later on in our coming classes. Okay? So just for the time being, I need you to know the differences between a free and a bound morpheme. The free one can stand alone with the meaning, of course, and the second one must be added, must be attached, must be annexed to another morpheme to form a word. The second categorization of morphemes is base versus affix. So what is a base and what is an affix? Okay, we can go to the handouts. But before going to our handouts, let's try to make out exercise 8.3 together. Can anyone read the question instruction, please?
Yes, okay.
Yes, underline.
Underline the bound morphemes. It's possible for a word to consist entirely of bound morphemes.
Okay. Number one, where is the bound morpheme?
في speaker
ER.
عندي هنا ER.
ER, well done, excellent. So the bound morpheme is ER, and why is it the bound morpheme?
Because it can't stand alone. It can't stand alone. It must be added to another morpheme to form a word.
Excellent, well done. Okay, number two, who would like to answer it?
Done.
Yes, please. So the number two is kingdom. Where is the bound morpheme?
Kingdom.
Okay, and why? Why is it the bound one? Can it stand alone?
No.
It must be added. We have kingdom, we have freedom, for example, so it cannot stand alone. It must be added to another morpheme to form a word. Okay, let's go to number number three, sorry. Where is the bound morpheme, not the free one? Petro, excellent. It has to do with petroleum. So petrodollar. So it is the money that people who have tons of petroleum they can get from buying or selling this kind of fuel. So petrodollar. And then number four, where is the bound morpheme?
I do.
It's IZE, which is it's again another bound morpheme because it cannot stand alone. It must be added to another morpheme to form a word. Okay. From number 5 through number 10 will be your second assignment. Okay? I know you're gonna love this course. Okay, let's go back to exercise 8.2. Write the meaning of the italicized morpheme. Who would like to answer number 1? Antedate.
Anti means before.
Before, well done. Okay, as an assignment, you can look for other English words that have the anti. Okay, we have, for example, anti-purse or antenatal, before purse. If something is happening to the woman before delivering the baby, this would be anti-purse or anti-delivery. And then we have replay. The italicized one is re. What does it mean, re?
Before.
Again.
No,
Again, to
it means
repeat.
repeat or to do it
To
again.
repeat.
Do we have other English words that have the re part? Yes, we have.
Redo.
Yes,
Resend.
redo, or rewrite, or restart, and so on. And then we have ly. What do you guess?
Again.
Ly?
It changes the part of speech from noun or something to adverb.
I guess we need the meaning, not the grammar part.
Okay.
So what is the meaning? So ly, it means in the manner of. So manly like man, womanly like woman. So in the manner of or like something. Okay, so the ly, it means in the manner of or like. He is acting or she is acting in such a manly way. I hate it. Meaning she acts like men. She is not supposed to do that. Or he is acting in a womanly way. I hate it, for example. He's not supposed to do that. He should act manly. See? So ly, it means in the manner of or like. Okay? Let's go on to number 4, er. If we add er to any
Refer to
English
someone.
verb, it
Refer
means
to someone.
it means what?
The subject
Refer
of
to
the verb.
someone.
The
Someone.
subject. We have words like singer, teacher, actor, professor.
Refer to
author.
someone.
Yes, it means the agent, the doer, the one who performs. So keeper, the one who keeps. Teacher, the one who teaches. Actor, the one who acts. Singer, the one who sings. So er, it means doer, D-O-E-R, doer of something, or the agent of something, or as you said, the subject of something, or the performer of such an action. Let's move on to number 5.
Contrast. To be powerless.
No, the word it means not.
Can't.
That's why we have happy, unhappy. It means not happy. Able, unable, not able. See? Okay, number 6, through number 10 will be your assignment. Okay?
Doctor, what's meaning by un? The contrast?
Raise your voice, please, because I cannot catch what you're saying.
الاكسرسايز ده هيكون assignment من فين لفين؟
The last one we worked out together was number 5, so I guess it's from 6 to 10.
Okay.
Okay. So how many assignments so far?
3.
3.
Three.
Excellent.
3
And
exercise.
the list goes on. As we were saying, we have 2 ways to divide morphemes. Another way of dividing morphemes is paces or pace. What is a pace? Okay. Do you have any questions so far? any question?
Any word in English has at least one morpheme?
Could you please come again, because again I didn't hear you.
Does this mean that any word in English has at least one morpheme?
Can anyone hear what she's saying? Yes, come again, please.
Can you hear me now?
Please.
Does this mean that any word in English has at least one morpheme?
Come again, please, for the last time. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. It's my connection. It's bad.
Okay.
I'm asking if does this mean that any word in English has at least one morpheme?
Yes, we could say this quite confidently, that at least we have one free morpheme. At least, not at most.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome. So here we have, as I said, we have what is a morpheme, what are the criteria of identifying a morpheme, and most importantly, the categorization of morphemes. We said we have two ways to divide morphemes. The first one is using free versus bound morphemes. The second one is to have the base versus affix morphemes. So I guess we can stop here, and for our next session you can read about the base and affixes, and we could also read about this. To answer all, this would be your assignment, to answer all the exercises on morphemes and types of morphemes, and to read about the difficulties of morphological analysis, and to read about bases and affixes. Okay? So just to wrap up, to conclude our session, we started our session by identifying a morpheme, and we said a morpheme is the minimal unit of that has a meaning or a grammatical function. And we said we have three ways to identify a morphemes, which are, what are the three ways?
MDV.
MDV, which, what do you mean by M?
The meaning has
It has meaning.
It must have a meaning. It's not just a meaning, must have a meaning.
Yes.
The D
Cannot
Can
be
divide.
divided.
cannot be divided without it changing the meaning. The V,
The same meaning in different variables environments.
well done. Okay, and then we move on to the categorizations of morphemes, and we said we have two ways. Free versus bound. What is a free morpheme?
It is a morpheme cannot be divided. Cannot
stand alone.
Has a meaning.
Yes. Just to know the difference between a dependent woman and a strong independent woman. You know the difference between them. Strong independent and dependent. The strong independent is a free morpheme. The dependent is a bound morpheme. So, meaning, the free morpheme can stand alone with the meaning. It can be used to answer a question or an inquiry about something, while the bound morpheme cannot stand alone. It has a meaning, of course, but it cannot stand alone. It must be added, it must be attached, it must be annexed, it must be related to another part to form a word in English. Okay? So just for the time being, keep in your mind that every single morpheme in English must have a meaning. A word in English could be one morpheme or more. We don't have any word that has no morpheme. At least we must have one morpheme. So that's it for today, and I hope you have understood it all. I'm trying to make it as simple as I can make it. I'm trying to make it simple as possible. So, do you have any question? Is there something that is unclear or something?
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay, thank you so much. Wish you all the best. Please do the assignment and read the parts that I have assigned you to read. Okay, thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.